This is about cooking inside from prison to home. This was interesting, different for sure. I thought it was a cute idea. I kind of just wanted to know a little bit more about these guys first or throughout. I know they did pop up some information about them on the screen, which I thought was really neat. Um, but it would have been nice to kind of know a little bit more about them and why they were doing this, the purpose of them sharing this with us, because I can actually see this as a series. And it was actually pretty fascinating. I was a little grossed out about cooking on the toilet, but it was like reality for them and what they went through and what they considered to be special when they were inside, and the camaraderie that they had with these dinners that they made and sharing that with us was neat. I guess, like I said, I would just like to know a little bit more about them, why they're sharing it, and maybe they can do some follow-up tips as well, because I thought it was a very unique, interesting video, and it would be neat to see kind of a series of videos on life inside, because it was a different take on it than I've seen. There's obviously some reality shows and things like that, but I really liked the two doing this together and kind of more of a, instructional, this is how we made this and we're sharing it with you, and it had heart in it as well. So I thought it was really cool and nice to see that they were out and doing well. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of see more about them and their stories. So great job, everyone.
Cooking inside, I really found this fascinating. First of all, I loved that they had the like roommates come back together for this, because then they could use each other to share experiences and share stories, and you got time where each of them was going through their kind of own experiences, but then you also got the shared, this is kind of what everybody experienced, perspective. And I had like no idea how much they could like gain access to and accomplish, and how they just made it work. And that's like a full meal, it's a full thing, and that's so interesting and wild that like you really could, like, the resilience of the human spirit never ceases to amaze me, because no matter what, like, people will find a way. They'll find a way to figure it out. They'll find a way to cook sausage. They'll find a way to make candy. They'll find a way to make food, like do all of these things. And all throughout all of this, like explaining how they're cooking or what they were doing, and like then doing as much as they could those exact methods to recreate this meal, you also are hearing so much about their experience and what they learned and what it was like. And it's just such a valuable perspective, because again, I really do think that it's one of those things that unless you know somebody that's been in that situation, we really only get our information from like movies and TV, which is probably wildly inaccurate of what the conditions are actually like and what the situations actually are. So I think it's just such a valuable perspective.
This was fascinating. I could listen to these two gentlemen speak about their experiences for another hour easily. Very, very charming, and really just interesting to learn about how things were done on the inside and the way they've demonstrated everything for us, and even the text on screen, giving us the how to, all just made it feel really just incredible. You're at the same time definitely feeling sympathy for them, but also really enjoying listening to them talk about it. It almost tears you up that way. But all in all, I think this was a fantastic idea. If these two men have more to discuss, I am all ears.
Cooking inside from prison to home was very was very insightful. Uh, hearing the stories about what life is like in prison, and just hearing all these accounts of how food brought everyone together inside. Uh, it's very interesting hearing like the makeshift ways everyone manages to get food throughout. They have to very much think outside the box and use unique ways to cook. But I found that to be very fascinating. I definitely enjoyed that. And, ironically, I'm kind of curious more about like, I guess the recreational side of prison. Like, you know, food was one way, but like now I'm curious. Like, I would love to hear more stories. Of, like, what are things they do to pass the time? I think that'd be pretty interesting.
Cooking inside. Cooking inside. Cooking inside is a different documentary. It's something that we don't see every day, and it's something that honestly it really grabs you. It really grabs your attention, and it keeps you there from start to finish. These two former inmates sharing their life experience in jail is something new, something that feels bold and fresh. Because usually when you have documentaries about inmates and jail, you always hear about just their life, what they used to do when they wake up until when they go to sleep, and then the usual things. What happened in jails. The jail is obviously is a difficult and tough place, etc., etc. But this time you hear about these two guys just trying to find a meaning in those infinite days in jail, and they find this meaning through cooking. It's actually really, I think it's really interesting and motivating. These two guys managed to go through all those years in jail, just doing what they love, just following their passion, and doing something that is so easy to do in the real world. In the outside world, you don't even think about it. While in jail, having a good meal in jail is a treasure. Is something you don't find easily. It's something that you might not even ever find for as long as you're there. So their mission to just offer good meals to the inmate, it was absolutely stunning. I also loved obviously the graphics used, and I liked the many insightful information we had, especially the fact that the products in jail are way more expensive than in the outside world, outside of jail. In fact, there is that line when they say like, yeah, we the system is just putting robbers in jail, whereas these kind of trading is the real robbery. So that's a sentence, a strong sentence that make us think that there is definitely something not right with the justice system. Sorry. Overall, a great experience. Really enjoyed the movie. So, congratulations.
All right, I just finished watching from Cooking Inside, From Prison to Home, which I thought was an excellent piece. The two lead actors, well, not actors, they're playing themselves, were excellent. They had a great dynamic, a great chemistry. It was a very interesting approach based on their background. Had a really informative and sort of relatable and humorous dynamic to a world that I feel like a lot of people aren't that familiar with. I don't have personal experience, but do have a lot of sort of colloquial experience about what it's like to be on the inside and having to cook and how you have to eat there, and it requires a level of resourcefulness and creativity that is quite admirable just to make anything of basic quality. And I thought this entire idea and construct is a great approach to it, and really is like feels like an episode of Chopped into an entire concept. And I feel like it could really be its own series based around this approach. And I thought that the two talents in up front really were well did themselves a great service on camera, sort of being authentic while also being relatable. So I thought it was a great piece, super fun to watch, very informative and very funny. And I thought that it really sort of created a template that I think that this concept could go on to be bigger and more valuable in a way that it can attract a much wider audience, given how compelling and compassionate really the lead talents are. So it was a great piece, and I enjoyed it.